Monday Night Football ends in referee controversy. The refs cannot stop throwing flags, ladies and gentlemen. They cannot stop throwing flags. And as a longtime Lions fan, it's almost validating and justifying to see other teams having to suffer the way that we know the Lions have suffered for decades and decades now. How teams have gotten away with practically murder on the field against us, and we aren't allowed to do anything. It is nice to see now, finally, a fair and balanced application of these egregious rule violations that some teams just routinely commit, and they only seem to commit in the most crucial points of the game. I've literally seen where refs will hold flags. They'll literally hold flags until after a play is done to see if they need to interject themselves into the outcome of the game. And I, myself, am absolutely sickened by it. We're going to read an article here that is also showing that other NFL fans are also getting fed up with it and starting to notice things that I, myself, was called crazy. I've been called crazy for saying that the refs are interfering with games for years now. And we're finally starting to see a come around and an eye-opening experience. Maybe it is the reduction of fluoride in the drinking water that are starting to see people come around and open their minds to the realization that the NFL is sticking their fingers in the outcome of games to manipulate them, to allow for better results that they deem will be a better viewing experience for the casual fan moving forward. Now, you guys got to remember, the NFL is by no means catering to the fan of the team. They do not care about you. They care about money. The NFL is a business. They don't care about the 7 of you diehard fans for a team. They don't give a shit about you. What they're concerned about is getting the layman, the Joe Blow, the Taylor Swifties, and their boyfriends who don't know anything about football but will tune into the Super Bowl because Taylor Swift's boyfriend is playing in the Super Bowl. And we've seen this year in particular, the refs have really just kind of paved a real smooth road for the Kansas City Chiefs through the first third of the season. We are now week 6 is now wrapped up. We are now 1/3 of the way through the NFL season. And the flags have been egregious. I would recommend checking out Tom Grassi's channel. He takes a nice humorous approach to the flag that the refs can't stop throwing. But look, guys, we got a couple articles here we're going to look into, and I got some numbers to kind of back this up a little bit. So before we get into it, do me a favor, guys. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so that you never miss out on any future content. It really shows the algorithm that what's going on here at the Hat and Beard Show is something that more people need to see, and it'll help kind of get our reach out there a little bit. We are a strong but mighty group. I really appreciate all of you who have already subscribed to the channel and are here rocking with me through the ups and downs, and hopefully this new content push out will be exactly what you guys are looking for. So we're going to head on over here to Fox Sports to read an article. Let's go. NFL fans rip refs as Bills hold on for crucial division win over Jets. The Buffalo Bills held on for a crucial win over the New York Jets Monday night, 23-20, but it was the officiating that irked fans who turned in to watch the drama unfold. Can't blame them there. There were 4 penalties, including offsetting fouls on the Jets' final drive. What did I just say about penalties during crucial moments of the game? They will wait during very crucial moments to force outcomes of the game. 4 penalties. 4 penalties on the Jets' final drive. 4 penalties. That's completely egregious. You can't tell me that these world-class professional athletes are committing this many penalties a third of the way into the NFL season. No, you're getting way too ticky-tacky with it. The refs, I guess the referees are probably, the refs strike me as politicians, if you will. The refs aren't athletic enough to play the game. They aren't smart enough to talk about the game. They're not charismatic enough to run a podcast talking about the game. So instead what they do is they do like politicians who aren't attractive enough to get into Hollywood, who aren't talented enough to be performers, who aren't smart enough to be pundits or clever enough to run a podcast. Instead, they sit in positions of power, soak up egregiously insane, inflated salaries, and then just absolutely do nothing for the betterment of the layman, you and me, the 90% of the population. They only cater to a very select amount of people, the elites, if you will. The NFL is slowly becoming not a Joe Blow, not a beer and hot wings kind of guy sport. It is starting to become that of a sport that tailors to the elites. So we see that in the clientele base that they show on television whenever they're in the game. We've seen that in the increase in penalties being thrown, as well as like this cat right here. Like I think I get it in practice, these stupid little Smurf hats, but bruv, why are you going to wear that in a game? I know, that's rich coming from me, a guy who just watched Aiden Hutchinson's career nearly get flushed down the toilet when he fractured his tib and fib down in Dallas thanks to Aleem McNeil's big fat ass wrapping his leg around another homie's leg, right? I'm just sick and tired of the refs trying to stick their fingers in a pie where it doesn't belong. Rodgers eventually threw an interception to Bills cornerback Teron Johnson while he tried to target Mike Williams. There's another problem right there. Mike Williams is trash. Mike Williams is trash. He had, maybe 1.5 good years in San Diego, L.A., and he's just been an injury-riddled nightmare moving down ever since then. Penalties like that crushed both teams, and the NFL world took notice because it was prime time. You can't hide it when it's in prime time on Monday Night Football. Those are the brightest lights. Everybody's watching you. And there's only 2 teams, so 30 other teams are sitting there being able to watch it from nearly a completely unbiased viewpoint. Now, we know that there are going to be some people, like I would have rooted for the Bills over the Jets because I don't like the way that the Jets have been managing their team recently. But most people watching it are probably going to be non-biased, right? Each team had 11 penalties called on them during the game. The Bills committed 11 for 94 yards, and the Jets committed 11 for 110. That is absolutely embarrassing. You are world-class professional athletes, right? There's no way that they are feasibly committing this many penalties. This is nothing more than the refs and the NFL wanting to tinker with and manipulate the outcome of the game. Here we got some tweets here. The product is unwatchable. Flag on every play. How is this enjoyable? I agree, Ariel Helwani. I agree. It is borderline unwatchable. That's honestly why I pretty much have only been watching Lions games this year. Is the product, both the officiating and the talent level, has just been subpar compared to years past. Don't tell me I'm wrong, okay? I know you could say that there's been a reduction in passing game production, which has led to a reduction in points and an increase in physicality of players being more run-heavy this year. But the product is still subpar. Quarterbacks are not where they were 10 years ago. Offensive line play, because of the degradation of the game in college, basically phasing completely out from a run physical game and going almost exclusively to a spread style offense, has led to a massive talent drop-off when offensive linemen are going from the collegiate to the pro level. We're having to see a massive learning curve with the majority of offensive linemen coming into the NFL via the NFL draft or from the collegiate ranks. Joe Alt, Penny Sewell, kind of an exception to that. But it's just a huge drop-off because we just want to see points, offense, not hard and gritty. You don't even have guys understanding the fundamentals of their game because they know that they really don't have to, because it's all down to the quarterback and the flash players who are getting all of the run and rep on television, right? The only thing that here we go from Al Sacco. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I mean when I say other people are starting to become aware of it. The only thing that will stop these NFL refs from throwing so many flags is to convince them that both teams are the Kansas City Chiefs. That is a perfect joke. There is no fat there. That is straight to the point. There's a lot of truth in that, and I have got to completely agree. I've been screaming about this since the season opener last year when Juwan Johnson was able to jump off sides on Aiden Hutchinson 7 times throughout the game, when he is one of the most egregious people as far as holding is concerned. When that dude lines up literally in the backfield and doesn't get called for it, the Chiefs get away with everything, and every other team, look, as a Lions fan, we see it with Terrion Arnold, right? He gets called for everything. My man picks his nose and they call him for a pass interference, right? Oh, they're joking with these flags. This is unhinged. Yeah, you're right. I agree. These refs, this can't be serious. We need We need better standards for refs. We need to probably bring them in and make them official NFL employees because these guys are technically independent contractors operating part-time 1099. And, you kind of get what you pay for. There's been so many flags I didn't even know which team I'm supposed to say the refs are rigging it for. Yeah. Look at this guy. What is it? Ian Macmillan? If I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. Make sure to like and subscribe. There's been so many flags, I don't even know which team I'm supposed to say the refs are rigging it for. Says all about you need to know right there. Says all you need to know about right there. At the end of the day, Josh Allen ran for a first down to keep the final drive going. Buffalo knelt on the ball the rest of the clock. The game was over. The Bills had a 20-17 lead at halftime, and they only scored 3 points each in the final 2 quarters. What an absolutely boring second half of football that was. Holy cow. 6 points between 2 professional teams on Monday Night Football. One of the quarterbacks is a future Hall of Famer, and the other quarterback has could have a Hall of Fame pedigree career with Josh Allen. Allen was 19 of 25, 215, 2 touchdowns, one to Awesome Knox, and the other to Mac. I don't wear cleats Hollins. I low-key, I kind of like Mac Hollins, guys. I'm a little crunchy myself, so I kind of got a little soft spot for Mac Hollins. I don't eat food with my hands. I don't run around barefoot all day, but I get where the cat's coming from. Allen also ran for 18 yards and a touchdown. So Josh Allen doing Josh Allen things. Bills running back Ray Davis led the team with 97 yards on 20 carries. He also had 3 catches for 50 yards. That is some serious production right there. Knox and Hollins' touchdowns were the lone receptions of the game. So the Bills are the Bills. Rodgers kept the game Jets in the game with an improbable Hail Mary touchdown pass right before halftime, but razzle-dazzle fizzled out in the second half. Aaron Rodgers loves to throw those old Hail Mary passes. Now, check this out. I know that everybody's into modern uniforms, and this is totally off topic what we're talking about here. We'll wrap this up here pretty soon. But I love the old Jets helmets better than the greens. Those white with the green stripes and the solid green logo, way better. Way better helmets and jersey combo than the new greens. I like them way better. Rodgers was 23 of 35 for 294 passing yards, a touchdown to Allen Lazard, Garrett Wilson. Each wide receiver was over 100 yards receiving, so there Garrett Wilson finally got unshackled. Aaron Rodgers was able to get Robert Saleh out. Let's be honest. Aaron Rodgers got Robert Saleh pushed out the door. And now Garrett Wilson, who's having a very subpar season, comes in Monday night against the Bills, unbridled by what has been or unshackled by what will be or whatever the hell that lady says. Garrett Wilson finally goes for 100 yards and a touchdown. There you go, Garrett Wilson. Free Garrett Wilson. Now Garrett Wilson has been freed. Lazard had 6 catches for 114. Wilson had 8 for 107. New York was trying to get the victory in wake of the Robert Saleh firing and may have had the edge of the game, but kicker Greg Zuerlein missed 2 field goals. Man, does that suck, Greg Zuerlein. Greg Zuerlein, old Legatron himself. You got one job, buddy. You got one job to do, and that's to kick the ball up between the uprights. So what can we take away from this reel? Well, let's look here. Let's look at over here. I got penalties pulled up throughout the season, right? So here we go. Here we can see each team by penalties. Yards, beneficiary count, counts against, total flags, offsetting. Like, we got it all broken down right here, right? Now, we are 1/3. We're just through week 6 of 18. We are 1/3 of the way through the NFL season, right? 1,413 penalties. 1,413 penalties thrown through the first third of the season. Now, I'm willing to bet that the majority of them have been, at least a substantial amount of those have been early on when people were still trying to figure out how to line up properly. But 1,413 penalties, good for 9,891 yards. Tell me the refs aren't sticking their dirty little dick beaters in the pie where it don't belong. Let's look at last year's. Total amount. Get out of here. Ads. All right, so this is last year's total amount. 18 games. That was the first year that we did 18 games, 17 games plus a bye, right? Look here. 3,800. 3,800 flags thrown last year through all games. And through the first third of the season, we are already at 1,400. Completely unacceptable. The product is terrible. You should be fed up with this. The refs should be held to a higher standard. I don't know what you guys think about all of this. I'd really love to read it down below. Go ahead and comment down below. But for me, at the Hat and Beard Show, it seems a little fishy, a little froggy to me, right? I really am getting tired of every time. The games are getting drug out longer. The flags, the nonsense. Let the boys play. All right? Quit being so ticky-tacky with it. Let defenses be aggressive. I'm so tired of every time a quarterback gets farted at, he gets roughing the passer penalty. You know, I'm really tired of seeing the roughing the passer penalties where you see the defender run into the quarterback and then do everything in his power to stop the quarterback from falling over so much so that he'll be carrying him to the ground and they'll still throw the flag. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous, especially because in certain teams, like let's just say a team that resides in the 3-1-3, Jared Goff can get pummeled and nothing, right? But another certain quarterback who I'm not necessarily hating on, I'm slowly becoming a fan of his, but another quarterback in Kansas City, let's just say his name's like something like Patrick Mahomes, I swear they throw flags on guys during the week. Like right now, the refs are already game planning who they're going to throw flags on San Francisco. They're already anticipating. What's the over-under? How long until Vegas starts putting out over-under on game penalties, right? 22 yesterday alone was absolutely ridiculous. 1,400 through the first third of this season. Absolutely atrocious. You should be furious by this. I'm upset by the product, both officiating and talent level-wise. Honestly, I think commentators have even fallen off, right? Tom Brady's coming around. Chris Collinsworth sucks. But, you know, what you going to do? It is the way that it is. Demand more. Demand more. Keep making a ruckus, guys. Keep squawking about the poor officiating on Twitter. That does start to make a difference. The NFL, again, is a product. They are a product. They're a business. So if we can attack the product and wear the product down, publicly shame them, make them address it, make more noise. Hopefully something can be done about this because I, for one, am sick. Clearly, based on things I was reading, you guys are also sick of all the penalties. So, yeah, that's going to be it. That's going to be it for me. Hope you guys like this video. Next one's coming out. Let's see. I'll see you guys probably about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So, until then, frig off. Bonga bonga.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, it's jam.
Hey, don't be a jive turkey. Like, comment, subscribe down below. Or don't.
I'm no punk bitch.
I ain't no punk bitch neither.
I'm no
I'll
punk
come back there
bitch.
and knock that